Today we're going to be discussing equation basics. What that means is we're going to start by going over each part of equations. Let's start with the standalone numbers I'm underlining in red. These are going to be called constants. Now, constants, you know them because they are just the number. They are not attached to any letters in the equation. I'm going to underline these in green. These are called coefficients. Now, coefficients are different from constants. They're both numbers, yes, but coefficients are attached to the letters in the equation. That means that they could be doing multiplication or division. So, in most cases, you'll see them as multiplication, but you can also see those as division. So, you may have something like 3x. The coefficient's 3. But if I just have x, well, there's something always attached to x, and there's going to be an invisible 1. An invisible 1 is always attached to x whenever you just see x or any other variable by itself. The next part are the letters that I underlined in blue. Those are going to be my variables. Now, my variables can be any letter or symbol. So you might see them as X, A, H, M. Later on in geometry, you may see it as pi, something left in terms of pi, which is an example of a variable that's used more as a symbol. Those are our standalone aspects of equations. When I look at each part of the equation, all these parts, 3x minus 7, 13 plus x, they're all individual parts as well, called terms. So each equation may have a different number of terms. This equation, for example, we see 3x is 1, minus 7 is 2, 13 is 3, plus x is 4. So there are 4 terms in this equation. Now the next part are expressions. You remember expressions from earlier. Expressions are mathematical statements that do not have an equal sign. They do not. That is the main difference between an equation and an expression. An expression doesn't have an equal sign. So in this case scenario of an equation, one side of the equation by itself is an expression. So in this equation, I have 2 expressions because I have 2 different sides of my equation. But I also have one big part, one whole thing. That whole thing is going to be an equation. This whole thing is the equation. The 2 separate sides divided by the equal side are expressions. This has been Equation Basics. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact your teacher.